You know, I gotta hand it to this show for really building up the tension with Taiyo for this week's episode of Happy Sugar Life. Like, this scene when we had this man freaking out, looking at Shio, and, you know, he looked like a straight up pedo, and I'm just like, oh god, like, I'm just like, it's about to get real bad, and I was just really concerned. I was just like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, and then all of a sudden you have it to where Shio gives him head pats, and I'm like, what? Like, I'm like, what? And I'm just like, huh? Like, I legit, I'm not even joking. I had to pause the episode. I was like, huh? I acted just like that, because I was just like, you're telling me that his crazed expression was because of that? That's why I was like, okay, I mean, I guess the series is a little bit over-exaggerated in some aspects, but I'm just like, okay, I mean, I figured it was much worse than that, but then, that's where I came to respect this episode, because it was just a ploy. It was just giving us a fake-out. See, we thought everything was safe. He just wanted head pats and all that. Just, you know, some redemption. Because, you know, he dealt with harm from, you know, his, you know, boss. And he thought that he, could just get, you know, purified if Shio was around him. That pure girl that, you know, was just being sweet to him. He felt like maybe he could be purified. I'm like, okay, it's kind of creepy. I'm not going to lie. But, you know, okay, fine. He's a little bit messed up in the head. You know, I'll let it slide. But then it progressed, and it progressed, and it progressed. The man continued to drool and talk real weird. I'm like, oh my god, good voice acting, but holy crap. And then, as it got worse and worse, eventually he's like, you know, maybe, you know, will be able to do it for Shio next time, instead of her just touching me. And I'm like, okay, chill, we're going too far now. Like, I hear the sirens coming in. Like, you need to chill. So, yeah, Taiyo is messed up. Like, he is really messed up in the head, and I mean, like I said, I gotta hand it to the tension of Happy Sugar Life. I mean, I know it's creepy, messed up, and wrong in a lot of ways, but I gotta hand it to the way the writer handles the tension of these scenes, or at the very least the way the animators. I don't know if it's the same in the manga equivalent, but at the very least in this anime episode, holy crap, just the music to the backgrounds, which, by the way, the backgrounds are freaking amazing for this series. I think they don't get enough credit, to be honest, but anyways, just seeing how that entire scene was done, how the tension slowly built up, and you didn't really know what Taiyo wanted until that final moment. You're like, uh-oh, what's about to happen? And eventually these thugs came in and started beating him up, and I'm just like, okay, this just, in a way, I'm happy it happened. Like, that's how I felt. I was very conflicted in that moment as a watcher of Happy Sugar Life, and I think that's a good thing. It actually is a good thing that I was very conflicted, because it shows that the show is entertaining me enough to make me think about these things, like, you know, which would be worse. You know, Shio's sitting there watching this dude getting beat up and all that, and having, like, PTSD of what happened to her mother, or, you know, this dude taking her off and potentially kidnapping her. I'm like, I mean, obviously the kidnapping is a lot worse, but at the same time, this PTSD that's popping up for Shio, it's not good for her as well. She already has a fragile mind, a very fragile mind. I mean, look what she did in this episode, okay? If we're not even talking about what Taiyo did, and then the thugs popping up, see, Shio, she reacted in such a way to where she left the house, and went very far away and got lost. Now, don't get me wrong, children get lost. That's how it is. I mean, I got lost when I was growing up. Yes, I did. I admit that. I mean, that just happens. That happens to all of us, okay? I think at least once or two times in our life. And even then, though, what Shio did was not normal. Which, granted, what's been going on in this series hasn't been normal since the very start. Shio's reaction to Sato is not normal at all, but seeing how she felt like she was abandoned or isolated in that moment, because that's definitely what that scene meant. When you saw her just hunched down, you saw the background just darken and all that, and she eventually got outside, it was showing that she felt isolated, lonely, and she had no one around her to comfort her at all, and she just, you know, was seeking out Sato to try to find her. And so, because of that scene, you're like, oh my god, like, she's really messed up in the head as well. Like, she's damaged. Like, she's not like a psycho like Sato is, or, you know, Taiyo is, but, you know, at the very least, she's damaged beyond repair, and it's going to take a long time of recovery, probably, to overcome something like that. She may never overcome something like that if she gets the proper help. But, anyways, let's talk about the situation with Sato for a second, because that was definitely a crazy moment about this episode. We all knew Sato was messed up, okay? She's She's not normal, okay? She's honestly one of the craziest characters I've seen in a good long while. I mean, I know a lot of characters with pink hair typically turn out to be very crazy or sadistic, but I gotta admit that Sato is definitely high tier on the crazy scale, because what she did in this episode, it really made me question, how could you get that messed up to act like you are? Like, what she said about Shio's brother, that thing. She said it multiple times, by the way, throughout the episode. She was calling Shio's brother, aka a human freaking being, that thing. Which, that's not normal to say about a person. Then, also on top of that, justifying her murderous intent towards Shio's brother because she had emotions of jealousy is not right. She literally justified her intentions of what she was going to do at the beginning of the episode because she had an emotion of jealousy which stems from her love for Shio. Oh my god. So, if there's one thing we can get from Sato's personality, is that she's so mentally warped, she does believe she's doing the right thing. That's the crazy part. And it makes me fascinated about her character, because it really makes you wonder what broke her so much to act like that. You don't get that. I mean, it's been very apparent that she has suffered some form of, abuse from her parent, but it's still not being clarified. We don't have the, the full picture. We're still looking through kind of like a little tube to understand what's going on, but even then, though, like, to get to that point the way you act like you are, to justify what you were trying to do to Shio's brother, and then say, oh, it's because I was feeling jealousy and it stems from my pure love and all that, I'm like, you just don't get that. That doesn't just happen like that. That's something that has to build out for a long period of time to start acting like that. Now, yeah, Sato's character, fascinating. I'm very curious on what's going to happen to her, and the more and more I watch this show, the more and more I wonder if this is going to have a happy ending whatsoever. Because when I think about the conclusion of what this series could have, it's not going to be happy. Think about it. Sato, she's already killed someone, obviously. So she's already a murderer. She's going to go to jail, prison, whatever. I mean, she's not getting out of that, regardless. It's eventually going to come back to bite her, and the truth is going to get out, okay? Common sense there. Unless it's framed on someone else, which could potentially be the teacher that's framed on, but all the truth will probably eventually come back to bite her, since this is a story, by the way, and we always need, conflict. And then, Shio being so mentally damaged, the only happy ending I could see for her, because of how her family situation is, would be her to get back with her brother and be adopted by a new family or something. But even then, the damage is already done. It's not something that's just going to be corrected in like a couple months to even years. It could take her entire lifetime to correct something like that. Then, on top of that, we also have the stuff going on with the teacher, to Taiyo and all that, how he acts. I mean, all of our characters are so damaged, it just makes me wonder, is there going to be any happy ending in this series? Which, don't get me wrong, I like series like this. I don't think every series needs a happy ending. I don't believe that. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I was attracted to Tokyo Ghoul and, Berserk. It's because not everything needs a happy ending. Not everything needs to be happy. And I like that about Happy Sugar Life. I like the fact that, I'm questioning now what is technically going to be the best way for this series to end for our characters. Like, what's going to be the end result? I mean, the more and more I look at it, Sato is playing on thin ice, but she is not dumb by any means. I mean, look what she did at the beginning of this episode as well. She stopped herself from killing Shio's brother. Now, many of you be like, okay, fine. Yeah, she stopped herself. She needed to. If she didn't, she was going to get caught. Yes. But that's the thing, though. She's a crazy character, but at the same time, she's intelligent, which that makes her frightening, because what's scarier than a psycho? A smart psycho. Someone that knows when it's time to stop and when it's time to do something. So in this case, Sato stopping what she did in that moment is frightening, because she is very aware of how thin, like, the line is she's on right now. And she's wanting to handle everything with a strategy. Which means that the people that she did kill will never come back to haunt her, most likely. That's the scary part I want to get into. See, looking at how she interacted with Shio's brother this episode, like how she didn't, end him, she knew it would be messy. She knew that if she did do that, it would all be over. She'd be caught. But that would mean for her to do something like that, to take that act, that means that she knew that she would not probably get caught whatsoever. So those people that were in the bags, or the person that maybe be in multiple bags, that person will never be found. Or at the very least, no one will ever try to seek that person out. And the reason why is because for Sato to act like she did, she would only attack someone that was probably isolated. Someone that was so socially disconnected or isolated from everyone, that had no connections whatsoever, no family that really cared about them, to do something like that. Or it was someone that, you know, she was really close to, but she was the only one that had a relationship with them. It's one or the other. So it's getting a little bit dark on how, or whoever is in those bags. We don't know if that is Sato's aunt, but if that is her aunt, it still leaves a big mess, because she probably has other family members that'll eventually try to find her aunt. So I highly doubt it's the aunt. It's potentially could be Shio's, you know, mother, but that's still not clarified whatsoever. But speaking of Shio's mother, by the way, I want to mention that Shio has a mental blockage, which that's it's PTSD, but also a lot of like physical pain and mental pain has happened to her to where she just wants to forget. Basically, why she doesn't remember anything, why she can't remember people's faces, is because she has actually went out of her way to block it out. Which might mean that she could potentially have maybe a split personality, for all we know. We really don't know. But anyways, Shio is mentally blocking out the horrors in her past. What has happened to her family, her brother, herself, her mother. She has blocked it out, and she can't remember anything because of that. So that is the reason why Sato is able to get away with so much, is because Shio's just so damaged that she's just blocking everything and doesn't want to remember anything. Which makes sense for a girl her age. I mean, she probably saw so much things that a girl her age should never have to see. But yeah, that's pretty much the conflict with this episode of Happy Sugar Life. Really great episode, by the way, not gonna lie, but just like, holy crap, like, right, I don't know, man. I don't know how this series is gonna, you know, go. Like, I don't know if Shio's gonna be found or not. I mean, with the whole situation in this episode now, if Shio is found by Sato, which she probably is going to find her again, Shio is going to start questioning Sato, because she's starting to remember a few things. But then on top of that, Taiyo's relationship with Sato is going to be in question, and Sato's not going to be able to really answer it properly, and it's going to turn into a big mess to where she might have to bring up more body bags. So I see Taiyo eventually entering into a garbage bag, similar to whoever was in the other garbage bag in the previous episodes. That's definitely going to happen. Then Shio's brother probably is going to be dragged into it as well eventually. Probably not next episode, but very soon. But that's pretty much about it when it comes to this week's episode. So let me know your thoughts. Did you enjoy this episode? Did you hate this episode? You know, be honest in the comments below. I am very curious. And if you enjoy my content, you know, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. Because for some reason, even if you click the subscribe button, you don't always get notified for whenever I upload a video. So if you do want to get notified, click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.